Hello, it's Gary reaching out from Elevate Practice Intelligence, and welcome to part 3 of a 5-part series of how to grow my healthcare practice. Before we jump into today's topic, let's quickly revisit what we learned in part 1 and part 2. We spoke of those parts as the two bookends. The bookend to the right was the importance with always starting with the end in mind and understanding the rules of the end game, and the end game defined as your succession plan or the exit plan that you have once you're ready to sell your practice. The nugget out of that topic was table stakes for a buyer is 20% EBITDA. When we flip to the front end, the bookend to the left, this is the importance of understanding to put your competitive advantage first. And the competitive advantage I spoke to in that topic was leadership and the coherence that a leader has between the way they choose to play, their abilities to win or their right to win, and their capabilities for change. The theme for part 3 is financial capital. The title of part 3 is called Grow My Healthcare Practice, Cut Expenses to Grow Stronger. Another way of saying this is a capabilities-driven cost reduction. Most healthcare practices cut costs randomly and usually without consideration for their competitive advantage or the way they play. The opportunity is to identify and reinforce key capabilities while divesting from those activities that do not increase or enhance your customer experience. When I work with practice owners that are struggling to generate double-digit EBITDA, so their practices are less than 10% in profit, we typically line up as an exercise 4 boxes, and the first 3 boxes represent your non-discretionary expenses, and your last box represents your discretionary expenses. Box number 1, these are the expenses that are required to keep your doors of your clinic open. Box number 2 is the right to win and the importance of paying yourself first. So 20% profit goes into this box. If your clinic is generating $1 million in sales annually, then you're dropping $200,000 into this box. This is what you're paying yourself first. This is your right to win. The third box is the way to play, and this is understanding where your costs or expenses are going as a capabilities-driven strategy to enhance the customer experience. So the first 3 boxes are all your non-discretionary costs. And the fourth box is really interesting because this is the potpourri, a box of where expenses land that are not generating or impacting or enhancing the client experience. This is where expense creep is out of control. Most practices that I've looked at have a 25% plus or minus a few percentage points of expenses in this box that have no bearing on their ability to generate or create an enhanced customer experience. When I talk about financial capital, I'm often reminded of an African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Let's unpack both parts. A clinic that is struggling to maintain 8 to 10% EBITDA has this urgency to fix, an urgency to maximize profit. And in that, if it's done in a silo, it is a recipe for disaster if you're going to go fast to fix your practice in terms of getting to that 20% EBITDA. It's typically not sustainable. It has to be paired with the second part of the proverb, which is if you want to go far, go together. And this to go together means you have to go with your team. And understanding the optimizing of value that comes with pairing performance with people and deploying leadership behaviors that look like challenging and collaboration and nurturing. This is understanding the right way to rally your troops, how to anchor your practice into a new vision, how to model the right kind of truth-telling, and how to focus on the future and set up manageable 100-day plans of what your practice is going to achieve together, both from a performance and a people perspective over the course of the first 12 months of your new vision. It's important to understand the coherence between maximizing profit and optimizing value for a practice owner as you're searching to find a way to 20% EBITDA If your practice is at 8 to 10% EBITDA, there is a great starting point, and it always comes down to labor. What is the cost of sales on the revenue that you're generating? And understanding the labor models that you have employed and where the dysfunction of those labor models or the labor spend is in that bucket number 4. And that bucket 4 again is the expense creep. These are your discretionary spends that are putting your practice in incoherence. When you think about the ability to drive 20% comes from your competitive advantage, driving an amazing customer experience and being able to extract 20% to the bottom line. If you are a practice owner that's struggling with manpower spend that is 12-15% higher than the 60% that I alluded to as a great number for your profit and loss statement, reach out to me, grab a free 30-minute consultation. The complexities and the multifactorial parts of the expense creep in manpower is a very challenging and most important part to understand how to fix your practice, and but best done in a conversation versus me giving you a few points on how to do it on a video. So thank you for joining today. Part 4 coming up is going to be about the organizational capital, and then part 5 is going to be about your human capital. I'm Gary from Elevate Practice Intelligence, and thank you for joining today.